Hi, Jason Spears here with drpremed.com. I want to talk to you about the subject of being in school and having to memorize. Unfortunately, if you're going into medicine, pre med, or whatever, there's just going to be a lot of material that you have to memorize and just know cold. And so, how can you actually put that information in your mind so you're not going to forget it on tests, your exams, or anything like that? The first thing that you can do is try to see if there's any patterns to what you're trying to memorize. If you're going over a topic that has a lot of definitions, it's an overall concept, but you need to memorize each of the pieces to it, maybe there's a pattern that you're missing and you can tell yourself a story about those topics and fit it in that way. So one thing I would advise you to do, can you make up a story about what you're trying to memorize? That can help you as well. Another thing you can do, kind of going along the same pattern of doing a story, is drawing a very memorable picture of what you're trying to memorize. So things that you just want to make it very memorable, make it abstract, kind of use just very out there imagery so you're not going to forget it. And you'll see that there's a lot of test companies, they're starting to use that because they realize that the mind is a lot better with pictures and graphs and images as opposed to pure text. So one company, I have no affiliation with them, is Picmonic. They're great if you want, if you're more of a visual learner, and you can use that as a means to memorize things as well. Another thing you could do is making a storyboard, kind of have a scene that you need a storyboard out, kind of what they do for movies, TV shows, those type of people. Their storyboard, okay, this is what's happening in this scene, then we need to figure out what's going to happen in the next scene, and you can kind of do that in your mind as well. But again, unfortunately, certain topics in medicine and pre-med you're just going to have to know. For instance, when you're doing your pharmacology, that's purely memorization. Sometimes you can see some patterns, but when you need to know the mechanism of a drug, that's going to be memorization. So you want to kind of key it into things that can help you figure it out. Like, one thing is to have clues and relate it to things that you know very well. I definitely enjoyed my sports and continue to this day, so I would tie things into sports because I know my sports well. And then if I tie some of my farm drugs into that, it makes it very easy to memorize things. And hope that gives you some help, insight, and tips on what you can do to be a better student when it comes to memorization. And it also comes down to repetition. You're really going to have to go over things. I think flashcards are great for things that you have to memorize. So